Hey guys, Mark Goldberg from Mark Vlogs Watches. Thank you for joining me today from the monastery at New Skeet. Quick fist watch check. I am still wearing the James Cameron. It's a little bit big, but I have to say it looks bigger when I stick it right into the camera. Anyway, I've been enjoying this watch quite a bit. I've owned it for almost 5 years, and all of a sudden it got into my head that I should wear it a whole lot more. Let's have a quick look around the monastery while I tell you about a fellow named Ryan who's got a watch question and possibly problem that we're going to discuss. Look at that bell tower. That is right outside my bedroom window, and it wakes me up every morning early. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this video, go ahead and take a quick closer look at this beautiful Rolex James Cameron with the blue to black gradient dial. Guys, I would take it as a personal favor if you will subscribe to my channel so we can do this again together. You may email me at markgoldberg8@gmail.com, and definitely go ahead and throw a like on this video so that the YouTube gods know that I'm here and with you. Now, Ryan sent me a letter. Let's take a look at the watch he bought, and we'll jump right into his concerns. Help me out in the comments, guys. What do you think of this watch? This is a Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date. It's in 34 millimeters. Its reference number is Rolex 1500, and this dates back to the early 70s, much like myself. So this is definitely an older watch. A fellow named Ryan purchased it for $3,000. He didn't tell me if it came with box and papers, but I'm going to, I think it's a pretty safe guess that it did not. And Ryan bought it on eBay. Now, eBay has an authentication program now. Ryan says this watch passed the authentication program of eBay, but for some unstated reason, he has concerns as to its authenticity. Now, I do not claim to be a vintage expert, but I'm watch wise. And so I'll share with you just a couple of observations. Some of you are going to know way more about this stuff than me, so make sure you discuss it in the comments. But we are going to start looking at certain aspects of this watch so we can determine how we personally out here in watch world feel about this watch's authenticity. So first off, it did pass eBay, and my best guess from this one lousy picture that I got is that the watch itself is more than likely correct. So I do think it is a Rolex 1500. Now, I don't have pictures of the band, I don't have pictures of the case back, and I really should have multiple high-res pictures of this to even be sure in the first place. But let me just say the case looks correct to me. But there's a few elements that look out of whack, so let's take a closer look. So let's take a closer look at these tritium lume plots. You know, this is 40-year-old tritium, and it should have aged by now. We should be getting a creamy yellow or chocolatey color, and these guys are white. So I'm a little bit concerned that this watch dial has been relumed. Is that a possibility? And now let's zoom in on the hands. Although they don't look quite as white as these supposedly 40-year-old lume pips, they still really don't look like they have aged 40 years from their original tritium. On the other hand, the Cyclops magnifier looks correct to me. The amount of magnification we're getting here, to my eye, looks correct. On the counterfeits, it's usually far too small, meaning not quite enough magnification. So this part looks right. It's so hard evaluating a watch based on a photograph that was taken with a potato, but to my eye, it's possible that this has been repainted because look at those sloppy letters. Now, is it the camera, is it the angle, or could this dial have been repainted? And I'll tell you what, guys, I've got the same concern about the printing down here at the bottom. So you have to be really careful when you're buying vintage. Could just be a bad picture. Could be a really bad repaint, redial job too with reluming. Here's another big concern that I have, and you can see on this other similar dial that T for tritium and the word Swiss on there, and then again the T for tritium. I believe that should be there on the dial of the watch in question that Ryan bought. I believe it's missing, and I think that's because the dial is fake or it's a redial. We'll take another look at the James Cameron while I kind of sum it all up. Ryan wanted to know if it was real, and he wanted to know if he got ripped off, and he wanted to know if it was redialed, how much value that would lose him. And the answer is, oh gosh, who knows? He paid about $3,000 for this watch, and honestly, I'm not sure that it was a good deal. You have to know what you're doing before you buy vintage, guys. It is a rat's nest. There's a lot of Franken watches out there, and there's a lot of fakes. So tell me what you think of that one. Look, the biggest problem I have was that picture, but going off of what I saw, I got real concerns. What about you guys? Smash the like button. Let's talk about it in the comments. How did Ryan do? What do you think? Talk to you soon. Peace out.
Paint the sky.